Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. So my wife was trying to understand my fascination with this toy line, especially when she saw the box and the question on the box, which was really prominent all over. Do you remember love? So I told her about the love triangle love story that was associated with this Japanese cartoon TV series, but I really did not concentrate on it. When I first saw the pilot episode of this TV series, this cartoon TV series back in the day, back in the 80s, I was really blown away. So I totally forgot about Transformers, about my fascination with Optimus Prime, when I saw how this plane transformed into this semi-robot, semi-plane, and finally our robot mode. So really totally different concept, because I also grew up and I'm familiar with Voltes 5. So with Voltes 5, we have 5 vehicles combining to form one robot. With Voltron, it was 5 lions and they combined to form one big robot. But with Macross, or with Robotech, you had a plane that converts into a Jerwalk and converts into a Batloid or Batroid. So if you are Filipino and you know your 3-in-1 instant coffee, so the experience was just like it. So you had your creamer, you had your sugar, and to the final punch, the coffee. So put it in hot water and you have a very fantastic drink that you could enjoy. So the experience was familiar with this toy line or with the TV series. So out of the 3 toys or action figures that I showed earlier, the only toy that was different from the lot is this Valkyrie. So this is from Caliber Wings. It is not a transforming toy. So no Jerwalk or Batloid on this. So I already made a previous review on this really fine Valkyrie. So just check out my playlist. But I bought this from Caliber Wings with the intention of pairing it with the other 2, so I could really enjoy the different forms that this VF-1J or VF-1A, or the different transformations or modes in one set. So that is the reason why I got this from Caliber Wings, especially because since this is a non-transforming toy, the attention to detail is really great. So just check out that video on my playlist for specifics. So these 2 action figures are related. Actually, they are really related because they came from one seller. So this was a complete set, this was a loose set, but they are both pre-loved action figures and are in great shape. So these are 11-year-old action figures. They are the first generation of Yamato produced toys for the Macross or Robotech TV series. If you are familiar with the Generation 1 Transformers Jetfire, then actually it is just the same. So the first generation of Macross produced toys were looking like this, and just different colorations. So just like these 2 figures, we have the coloration for Rick Hunter, the white and red, and we have the coloration for Maximilian Sterling, the blue and the white. But with regards to the transformation modes, this changed the G1 Jetfire mold. So totally different. So The G1 Jetfire was more looking like a toy, but this was really different. So I had friends before who had the old generation, first generation Macross toys, and they had the Yamato produced these first generation action figures. And when you put them together side by side, it was really night and day. So the design really different, the amount of detail really different. Transformation, that was the thing that was quite similar between the two, but with regards to the amount of detail, wow, this toy line, the first generation Yamato produced Macross action figures, really had that wow effect. So with regards to transformation, of course, it's going just to be the same, but the only different aspect in the mode of transformation would be on the leg area. So leg area for the Batroid and leg area for the Jerwalk. Especially, I'm going to show the difference. So in Jerwalk mode, and if you're going to transform this guy into that, so you just have to push this piece. There's a piece over here, and you have to push that off, take it out, and unhinge the legs, which are secured by these tabs over here, this, and then you snap both legs onto the side of the cone of the airplane. So actually, if you take these two out, this is the way you transform it. So totally different from the Generation 1 Jetfire, wherein the Jetfire had the legs on a hinge. So you just swing both legs together, but this was really different. So yeah, and this is really weighty. This is made of die-cast material. Now, what this design brought into play was the articulation that allowed the this swivel on the hip. So you now have swivel on the hip, which with the Generation 1 Jetfire action figure, or those Generation 1 Macross action figures did not have. So if you take a look at this Jerwalk mode, the hinge, there is that movement on the cone. So that is for hip rotation in Batroid form. So if you're going to transform this guy into a plane, actually you just have to straighten out the legs and then put the arms backwards. So the transformation was really similar, but in Batroid form or robot mode, which this is it, you have to unhinge those. So I'm going to now show if you're going to make this into a robot mode. So you have to unsnap that leg, and that leg now is disengaged from the rest of the body. So as you could see, it is secured by this tab over here. So that is how the difference in transformation or engineering for these two toys. Now, with regards to design flows, well, yes, there's really a lot of design flows for this generation 1 Yamato produced Macross or Robotech action figures. But from this generation 1, the succeeding generation of Macross or Robotech toys for the Remember Love TV series is really superb, especially the one that is produced right now by Soul of Chogokin, which with regards to transformation, the amount of details that was put in it, especially, for example, this has very, as you could see, hollow parts to it. So you could see through the toy or the action figure. So very hollow spaces, and the succeeding toy lines or Yamato produced toys or the Arcadia produced toys had space fillers for the sides and the upper portions of the robot mode. So especially for the heat shields on the canopy area, for this Yamato first generation, you had to take off the cockpit shield, this transparent shield, and put on a different piece, a blue piece if you're going to make, or a blue piece or a red piece, or a black and skull color design heat shield if you're going to transform it into a Batroid form. So yeah, those were just the changes in design. So, but with regards to cool factor, are they still cool or are they still collectible? Well, it depends on your taste, because I hunted for this specific first generation because I wanted to have the first generation, because these toys really had an impact on me and I wanted them the first generation. Of course, there are newer iterations of these Macross or Robotech action figures, but I just want the old ones. So it really depends on the collector. So if you remember love and if you really enjoyed the cartoon TV series, except of course of the love story, the cheesy love story, then like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next review.